Guatemala. Over half the population sits beneath the poverty line, where gang culture, drugs and prostitution are rife. The national under-5 chronic malnutrition rate sits at approximately 49%, a staggering statistic, only exacerbated by the effects of glue sniffing and other cheap drugs, which are given to children as young as 2, to stave off hunger and relieve the short-term pressures the poorest face. Nicodemus Trust is striving to break the poverty cycle in Guatemala. They oversee a number of projects that are helping young people to change their own lives and help others to do the same. Join me as I meet those striving to make a difference in Guatemala and see their life-changing work firsthand. I spoke to Alistair Welford, one of the founders of Nicodemus Trust, to find out exactly what they do.
Nicodemus Trust is a charity that was registered in 2011. We have a model that works with empowering people, particularly young people, to change the world. We don't believe we've got the answer, we believe that they've got the answer no matter what circumstances they're in. And we believe that God can use those young people not only to transform their world, but through doing that, it actually helps them to transform themselves personally and to change.
Alistair, tell us about some of the projects that you're working with here in Guatemala.
Yeah, we work with Young Adults with Purpose, which is a mentoring program for young adults. We work with the Time of Rescue, which rescues street children. We work with My Special Treasure, which supports girls that have come from severely abused background with restoration and care. And the Education Centre, which is a school that is for children that live in a rubbish dump environment.
One of the major issues facing young people in Guatemala today is gang culture. Approximately 46 children die every month, and most of these deaths are caused by firearms. I spoke to Cesar Garcia from Time of Rescue about the difficulties that gang culture presents.
Cesar, tell me, at what age do the children here start to get involved in the crime and drugs on the streets?
They start between 6 and 7 years. We have statistics that children from 10 years already have killed people to go inside gangs.
10 years old and they're killing people on the streets. Is that because they're forced to do it, or are they choosing to do that?
It's a requirement to go to the gangs, to be a gang member. Now, the orders to kill people comes from jail, and they say they need children from 9 to 15 years to kill somebody because these children are not judged as adults.
So they specifically target young teenagers to go and kill somebody else for revenge because they know that they'll get a lesser sentence?
Sure, that's why.
What if they say no?
They are killed. The first requirement is to kill somebody, and if they don't want to do it, the gang member tell them that they're going to kill their families.
Wow.
Sandy's been living on the streets for 10 years and isn't immune from the effects of gang culture. Formerly a gang member herself, Sandy was involved in armed robberies, extorting money with the threat of violence.
Sandy, would you tell us a little bit about your story, about your life, about how you've come to be on the streets?
My mom used to be in drugs, and also she used to take me with another people to sell me. She wasn't good with me, so I came to the streets and I met a lot of the children in the streets. There's a lot of violence. Also the policemen are very, very bad. Hit us. Like in this place where I live, there's a lot of children that have grown up with me, and they have died, a lot of them also, by the hands of the police, and I used to be very violent. I was already walking with gangs people, but when I saw that it was very bad, I took the decision to go out. And that's why I turned to be Christian, and they say they forgive my life. I saw a lot of gangs members killing people and policemen. And they told me that I need to kill my mom because the damage she made me, and they were my new family. But when I met God, I didn't want to do that. We sleep here, we clean every day. We are around 14, 15 people. Everyone has her own blankets here. We have candles. Put it here at night so we can see something. All the blankets you see here, people have donated to me, and I give it to my friends.
Though Sandy hasn't left the streets yet, she's already encouraging others to leave and works with Cesar to get street children medical help when they need it.
Your partnership with Young Adults with Purpose, with Time of Rescue, do you see more hope? Do you see more light in the future?
I see that my future can change, and also the future of my friends.
In 2012, Nicodemus Trust started a movement called Young Adults with Purpose. I chatted to Johnny Welford to see what it's all about.
So the Young Adults with Purpose movement seeks to provide a space where young adults can be helped to change their world. Young Adults with Purpose provides young adults with mentoring. Each one has a mentor, someone who can guide them, they can meet up with, be a friend and a role model. Also, we provide educational support. A lot of the young adults are from backgrounds that are not so economically resourced, tough family backgrounds too. And also we provide, we put on group meetings to generate friendships. The young adults within that have a desire to not just receive, but also to give. And out of that is born young adults organising community activities, going out to serve others, volunteering in different projects.
Many of the Young Adults with Purpose help out at a local rehabilitation home, helping those who are in the process of leaving the streets, many of whom suffer from drug addiction. The young adults also help out with Time of Rescue, a project run by Cesar Garcia that Nicodemus Trust facilitated the start-up of. Time of Rescue focus on helping people who are still living on the streets. They help people of all ages, many of whom are drug addicts. They provide medical care, nutrition, and a listening ear, but all with the aim of developing relationship and trust so that each person can make a personal decision to leave the streets. But what inspired all of this great work? I chatted to Alistair to find out.
Why here, and what is it that you're doing?
Well, I'm here because I was involved with a charity based in the UK that worked with street children in many countries in Latin America for 10 years. And having retired from there, in the latter part of it, we actually saw street children who had been rescued, been through childcare, who at aged 18 had to leave childcare, returning back to the street. Now for us, I found that deeply upsetting. I actually had one come and tap me on the shoulder and say, he'd greet me like a long lost friend. What on earth are you doing here? And his comment was, oh, it all went wrong back home and I'm back here again. And for us, I said, my wife and myself, we were both here at that point, and we saw this and experienced this, and it went very deep into our hearts. And we just realised that something had to be done for this age group. So we started off with one, supporting them with education. And what we discovered was that actually they've got a real passion for change of their country and their city. It's not what we do, it's what they do. It's all their ideas about what they do to serve in their communities. And that's something that's now come to the real forefront of the Young Adults movement. It allows them to have the opportunity to be in a position to be able to go out and serve in their communities.
Nicodemus Trust also support a children's home called My Special Treasure. My Special Treasure provides residential care and rehabilitation for severely abused teenage girls. Once rescued, the home offers them a chance of recovery in a loving Christian environment which cares for their physical, psychological and spiritual needs. Carol Lopez, who founded the children's home with her husband in 2008, took time to explain the work that they do.
And we're very thankful with God first and also with Nicodemus Trust because they were the first one that came and helped us, and they had been a great part of this project and they had helped us, and it's been a blessing for many lives.
Carol, the girls that we've seen here are beautiful, they're smiling and they're happy. How are you doing it?
Yes, it's a blessing because we can see them growing and doing well at school and just being and progressing every day. We work with the concept of keeping it as a family, so everyone here is cooperating and helping, and they have chores and responsibilities that they have to fulfill. Yes, we're hoping that all of the girls will be able to go to university. Some of them are older now, and we're hoping that they will study more and they will be part of Nicodemus Trust and they will have the help for their education.
Nearby is the Chimaltenango rubbish dump. Many people live and work here, scavenging for food to eat as well as collecting recyclable items that can be resold.
And here we are, right in the heart of Chimaltenango rubbish dump. The smell is awful. It's filthy. It's just not a great place for kids to grow up. It's not a great place for families to live and to work together. We're surrounded, ironically, by vultures that are circling around us and walk around here as well. The smell of death, in one sense, is literally here. It's just a grim, grim place and a horrible place to grow up and start your life.
But it's not all doom and gloom here. In 2010, the girls from My Special Treasure started making weekly visits here, donating clothes and food. Not only that, but the girls started teaching children living here how to read and write. I met up with one of the residents of My Special Treasure, Jenny, who used to spend her time teaching here at the dump.
Jenny, I know that you've told me you used to come down here to this tin hut that's in front of us to run a school to help kids on the rubbish dump. Why did you do that?
It felt like a calling. I know that people need help and I felt it in my heart that I needed to help others. So we used to come here with Mommy Carol and they asked us to teach. So we were using this workhouse as a center to teach, but it was really hot. We started with 13 children. It grew and after that we got the education center.
Jenny, would you take us to see the education centre?
Sí.
Okay, let's go.
Nicodemus Trust also supports the work at the education centre. Young children are dropped off early in the morning by their parents on the way down to the dump. These children are fed and then educated. Members of the Young Adults with Purpose and My Special Treasure projects volunteer, helping the 113 children attending.
So when you begin to put all the pieces of the jigsaw together, you get an amazing picture of what goes on here at My Special Treasure. The girls come in here broken, terrible things have happened to them, and yet here they just receive love and compassion. But not just poured out on them, they're taught, they're equipped to be able to live life, to do washing, cooking. They lead devotions, prayers, worship, and in this community they receive love and compassion, and the opportunity to become young girls and young women that they really could be and should be. And more than that, as we've seen out in the communities, so they take that love and the compassion that they've received and then they take it back out onto the streets, down to the dump, into the education centre, serving other people and sharing the love that they've received for themselves. That part of their healing process is giving.
As well as providing educational support, Young Adults with Purpose offer one-to-one mentoring. I spoke to Carmen about the impact it has on her life.
Do you work here on the market or in the terminal?
En el basurero, en el botadero. Ajá.
She works in the dump.
Okay. With your mum?
Ajá, con mamá.
Yes, with my mom.
And have you been doing that since you were a little girl?
Sí.
Every day?
Every day I work with that.
Okay, good, good. Would you mind showing us your house?
Me gustaría conocer tu casa, ¿está bien?
Cool. No, you show it. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Go on.
Feliz año 80.
Wow, these are steep stairs. So Carmen, this is where you and your mum live, up here?
Acá arriba es donde tú vives con tu mamá.
Carmen, tell me what life is like growing up on the dump for a child.
Aunque digamos.
Sometimes it's very dangerous, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes bad people come like thieves and they want us to be part of them. but they use more young children than older like me. One of the bad things are when somebody has problems with another persons and they come and kill them in front of us, and you can see when they fall down because they kill them.
Once or lots of times?
Varias veces o solo una vez?
Como 4 veces.
Maybe 4 times.
Wow.
Sí.
Wow, that's tough.
Sí.
We met Alejandra in the car park, and she's brought us in here to meet you. Alejandra is your mentor through the Young Adults Project.
Es mi mentora.
Okay.
Yes, she's my mentor.
Okay. You've got to know her because she's worked with you as a younger child?
Bueno, es bonito.
And it's a good thing because when you have problems, you can count with them, and you can be in touch with her. And she helped me a lot to go to school. I have never gone to school before, and now with her, she helped me to go.
Wow. So you're 18 years old.
Tú tienes 18 años. 19.
19. So this is the first time you've been given the opportunity to go to school. We saw you the other day at the rehab centre. You were working with some of the other girls, just serving. Why, in the midst of the challenges of your life, are you choosing to go and help others with theirs?
Porque me gusta ayudar a las personas.
This is the way I can help people that really need somebody to help them. This is not my case. I always had my mom, but I know that there's people that need help.
Yeah, you have a good heart.
Tienes un buen corazón.
Gracias.
Having the opportunity to meet people like Carmen is a real privilege, and it's a real inspiration. She's somebody who, having grown up in incredibly poor circumstances, living in a shack above an orange shop right in the heart of Guatemala City next to the dump, she's determined still to do something with her life, and not just her own, but to change the lives of others as well. Selfless and incredibly humble, and an amazing young lady.
Another young person to benefit from the Young Adults with Purpose movement is Herson. Having been previously rescued by another organisation at age 10, Herson had to leave childcare at age 18 and began returning to street life before Nicodemus Trust stepped in.
Herson, Alistair's told me that right here behind us is where you spent your childhood, it's where you grew up. Tell us a bit about it.
I used to live here with my mum, and also we used to go outside the dump to ask for money. When nobody else gave us the money, we came to this place here to recycle so that we could resell it. And I started to go to the streets because my brother used to live on the streets, so I went with him. We got together and he taught me how to drug myself. It's very hard because there's a lot of sickness and things here. I started living on the streets, using drugs and staying at night on the streets.
Herson, when we were down at the dump, you told us about moving from the dump to life on the streets. This is where that next part of your life took place. Help us understand what that was like.
Many times the police would come and beat us in the night. And when that would happen, we would have to run away and find another spot to hide and sleep so they wouldn't find us. Every day we would have to find another way to survive. There was always just something new, some other struggle for us to live through. Many people often say that those of us who live on the streets are just rubbish, part of the rubbish. Cesar, who is the director of Time of Rescue, he was involved in my time of changing, my time of intervention, along with a couple of his volunteers. They would take me to a place to play football, anything to occupy my mind and my body so that I wouldn't be focused on my cravings and getting into the temptation to take more drugs.
Through all of the projects that Nicodemus Trust oversee, a clear pattern can be seen. Those who've been helped go on to help others, and Herson is no exception.
For 4 months now, I have been helping in a local project and learning how to take care of children. These are children from poor family backgrounds that I am part of helping. With the kids that I have talked to, they will say to me, how are you helping us now, knowing what you were like before? I share with them a verse from the Bible, encouraging them to continue seeking God and going for Him despite everything in their life that may attract them to something else or may distract them. I really love to help others, and I know that it's a huge work and that it's something good, and I like the feeling that it causes in my heart.
Their vision is helping young people transform their world. Does it really work?
I think that it does work, and at least for me, because I was able to work here and also in St. Marcos, which is a different project. I was able to help other kids there and here, and it just helped me to see myself in the lives of these children and to make positive changes in their lives too. So I've seen good things, and I love the feeling that they have in my heart. And without the young adults, I will probably be living on the streets and consuming drugs and sleeping on the streets.